Hi guys! So, welcome to my channel. In this channel, I'll be sharing with you some bite-sized videos discussing about finance, accounting, tax, and entrepreneurship in general. So, if you want to be updated, click subscribe and hit the notification bell so you'll be updated every time I upload a new video every week. Bye! Hello guys! So today we will discuss the differences between a sole proprietorship business and an OPC or a one-person corporation. So for the past months, I have been doing freelance accounting with local clients in the Philippines, and ang typical question that I get for new business owners or yung mga gustong magtayo ng business is that ano ba yung right business structure for me? Ano ba yung appropriate? And typically, 'di ba, we are used to think that the easiest and the most common way to start a business is to go the sole proprietorship route. And hindi naman talaga natin sila masisisi, but because of the revised corporation code, 'di ba? We are now given the option na instead na mag sole proprietorship ka, why not consider registering your business as an OPC or a one-person corporation. So, in this video, we will discuss the basic differences between a sole proprietorship and an OPC, and then so that you will be able to assess and evaluate kung mag-register ka ng bagong business mo, what type of business structure yung tingin mong fit doon sa plans and doon sa nature ng business na itatayo mo. So, the first basic difference is in terms of the juridical personality. So, for sole proprietorship, the business and the sole proprietor is one. Walang difference. So, kaya nga, di ba, pag magpaparegister ka as a sole prop, the taxpayer identification number that you will use is also the same number na gamit mo as an individual taxpayer, even nung employed ka. Kasi, walang difference. So, ang difference naman niya when it comes to OPC, the single stockholder or ikaw as a business owner is different and separate from the OPC as a business. So, magkaibang personality si business owner and si OPC as a business. Thus, the OPC is given its own taxpayer identification number kapag nagpa-register tayo kay BIR. Then, the second difference that I want to point out between a sole proprietorship and an OPC is when it comes to the extent of liability. So, di ba, when you register a sole proprietorship, kapag na-bankrupt or may mga liabilities yung sole proprietorship mo as a business and hindi na sapat yung assets, yung pera ng business mo, and meron kang mga pagkakautang sa mga creditors mo, your creditors can actually go after your personal assets. Kasi nga, the business, your sole proprietorship business and you as a person is one. Walang difference. So, ganun din siya when it comes to your liability. The extent of the liability that you have. Ngayon, anong difference niya? Kapag OPC ka naman, let's say, your OPC, na-bankrupt siya, you have loans, diba, outstanding to your creditors, and yung assets nung OPC mo is hindi na siya sapat to pay those creditors. So, ang question then is, can your creditors go after your personal assets as a single stockholder? So, the basic answer is no, they cannot. Unless, syempre, kung mapatunayan, diba, na there were fraud na nangyari when it comes to managing the business. But the general answer to that is your personal assets as a single stockholder is different from the assets of the OPC. So, kung ano lang yung capital that you have invested doon sa OPC mo as a business, hanggang doon lang yung pwedeng habulin or extent of liability mo sa mga creditors mo. So, that's the second basic difference of an OPC and a sole proprietorship. And the next difference between a sole proprietorship and an OPC is in terms of succession. So, it's very easy to understand. Diba, when it comes to sole proprietorship, when the business owner dies, the single proprietor dies, the business also dies. Kasi walang succession. Hindi na ipapasa yung business niya na sole proprietorship to anyone. Kasi nga, the business and the sole proprietor is one and the same. Meanwhile, kapag OPC naman, di ba, when you register an OPC, you are required to designate a nominee. So, nominee 1 and alternate nominee. So, para saan yung gamit ng mga nominees na yon? So, it's really for succession. So, when it happens that the single stockholder dies, diba, the nominees can actually succeed doon sa business. And they will, in turn, get the ownership, diba? Mapapasaan sa kanila yung ownership ng OPC na business. And magko-continue yung business. So, if you are a business owner and you are thinking of a succession plan, lalo na kung kunyari, successful yung business that you have, maybe it's time for you to consider using OPC so that you can also designate your target nominees na gusto mong mag-succeed or magmana nung business na itinayo mo. So, next, we'll discuss about the requirements under the corporation code for an OPC or a one-person corporation. So, an OPC is required to appoint a president, a treasurer, and also a corporate secretary. So, it's just like a typical corporation. And the main difference lang is one stockholder lang talaga ang meron ng OPC. So, the single stockholder is automatically the president. Syempre. But, the president cannot be the corporate secretary at the same time. Then, the sole or the single stockholder can be the president and the treasurer at the same time, but subject to the submission of a bond requirement kay SEC. So, kaya typically for my clients, what we do is the single stockholder acts as the president, and then nag-a-appoint sila ng treasurer nila na other person than the single stockholder. And then, some of the reportorial requirements na kailangan ipasa ng isang OPC is, syempre, audited financial statements, yung mga disclosure ng mga self-billings niya. Kasi nga, diba, the single stockholder is the only stockholder ng OPC. So, he is required to submit yung mga self-billings, lalo na kung kunyari merong mga related party transactions siyang ginagawa. And then, yun, kita naman natin, diba, that the sole proprietor is not required to submit all those. Mas simple yung requirement ng sole proprietorship. Hindi mo kailangan mag-appoint ng mga president, treasurer, corporate secretary, and then lesser din yung mga paperwork. But, syempre, meron ding mga advantages naman yung OPC. So, it really depends on the goal of the business, the longer term plans of the business, ano yung industry mo, and ano yung mga tingin mong mas makakabuti doon sa mga longer term plans ng business mo. And then, finally, and the most obvious difference between a sole proprietorship and an OPC is when it comes to income tax. So, as a sole proprietor, diba, you are tax progressive. So, the higher your income, the higher the tax bracket. But because of the train law also, you also have the option to use the 8% flat income tax rate kung ikaw ay non-VAT taxpayer. So, we will discuss all about yung deeper side ng mga tax na yan, comparing sole proprietorship and OPC in the next videos. So, for now, I'll just give you an overview ng difference nila. So, sole proprietorship, progressive income tax rate. The higher your income, the higher the tax will be. Ngayon naman, pag OPC, diba, since you are a corporate entity, you are taxed like a corporation, wherein the 30% corporate income tax will be applied to your business. So, watch out for my next video where I will discuss and show you computations and examples so that mas ma-appreciate natin yung difference between taxing a sole proprietor and paano mo itatax ang isang OPC. So that you have an idea kung ano yung better para sa business mo. So to recap, the 5 differences between a sole proprietorship and an OPC is first the personality. Right? So for sole prop, the business and the sole proprietor is one. For OPC, separate yung single stockholder and OPC, yung personality nila. Then the second one is in terms of liability. So we have discussed that kung sole proprietorship business, you have the unlimited liability. So meaning your creditors can go after your personal assets when your business goes bankrupt. Then OPC naman, dahil nga magkahiwalay si single stockholder and OPC as a business, meron siyang limited liability lang. Then number 3 is in terms of succession. So sole proprietorship, you cannot pass on the business when you die. But for OPC, dahil you are required to designate 2 nominees, so the business can actually continue even mamatay na yung original single stockholder. Then number 4, yung mga requirements, 'di ba? Alam natin na less paperwork pagdating ng sole proprietorship. And then sa OPC naman, we are required to submit kay SEC mga certain reports to substantiate yung mga self-dealings natin, especially mga related party transactions. And then number 5, and the most obvious, is the difference in taxes. So, sole proprietorship, you are taxed like an individual, progressive income tax rate, and you also have the option to use the 8% flat rate if you are a non-VAT taxpayer. For OPC naman, you are taxed like a corporation, so the 30% corporate income tax will apply to you. So, watch out for the next video where we will discuss and show you actual differences sa tax ng sole proprietor and ng OPC. So, please subscribe to my channel and then hit the notification bell so that you will be updated when we upload new videos every week. Thank you, and if you have questions, you can comment down so that my team can reach out to you and answer your questions. Bye!